Well, I thought today would be really interesting to talk about the fact of New York being a character in so many Broadway musicals and why that is. New York was a melting pot for so many, and the center of everything that seemed cultural for so long, with the corporate risers that were among us and the gangsters that were among us, and women that came from the country to they moved to New York to really advance their careers. New York represented so much of what was outstanding about America to so many, being the cultural melting pot, as well as the site for immigrants. And it became a widespread mechanism and plot device in so many Broadway musicals. Going back to 1927, the Gershwins in the musical OK used New York for the first time that I really recognize as something significant as a plot device. And the song Someone to Watch Over Me, written for OK. And why OK? Because it's about a bunch of gangsters smuggling liquor into the United States from England, and they can't get off the ship or trying to figure out. And the gangster's girlfriend or daughter is actually waiting to marry a man that's on the ship. I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to go right into that song, "Someone to Watch Over Me."
There's a saying old says that love is blind. Still we're often told to seek and ye shall find. So I'm looking for that boy I had in mind. Looking everywhere, haven't found him yet. He's the big affair I cannot forget. Only man I ever think of with regret. And yet I'd like to add his initial to my monogram. Tell me, where is the shepherd for this lost lamb? There's somebody I'm longing to see. I hope that he turns out to be someone to watch over me. I'm a little lamb who's lost in the wood. I know I could always be good to one who'd watch over me. Although he may not be the handsome, gilding crown as handsome to my heart he'll carry the key. Won't you tell him all my love I will say? I'll be his slave. Oh, how I crave someone to watch
Well, that's Gertrude Lawrence in the Gershwin OK. On Your Toes, however, written in 1936, is a story about a high school teacher who gets involved with the Russian ballet. And what's so phenomenal about On Your Toes, almost a forgotten musical today in so many ways, was the fact that it was a New York City high school and a teacher getting involved with the Russian ballet. George Balanchine of the American Ballet Theater actually choreographs a very famous ballet sequence called The Slaughter on 10th Avenue. Richard Rodgers, we may not realize, wrote many ballet sequences. The Slaughter on 10th Avenue being one, the Out of My Dreams ballet in Oklahoma, another, certainly in The King and I. But the fact that this is the Slaughter on 10th Avenue, the ballet is centered right on in New York City, in Manhattan, and is an interesting showpiece. Although it had nothing to do with the plot in specifics, it's now frequently done in performance.
Right. What do you want? What do you want? You know those two men in the box there? No. Well, I do. They're a couple of professional killers. Gangsters? Yeah, Russian version. What do you suppose they're doing at the ballet? Maybe they're going in for art. Where's Junior?
Junior, that's the surprise I had for you.
Comes clear to me. Gave Junior the name of Markov because you knew that those killers were looking for Markov.
How was I supposed to know that?
All Russians know that Markov is either dead or will be killed. Come on, talk to me now. They're here to kill Junior when he's supposed to kill himself at the end of the ballet. Yes? Yes? Yes?
Quick, Riley, call the police.
Understand? Don't shoot. Keep dancing until they're arrested.
Don't stop now. Keep dancing.
It's a very famous ballet that's now performed as part of many ballet events. It was by Balanchine, after all, his first foray into musical theater, and it was the first time musical theater actually counted on ballet as part of the story. The next musical that really uses New York as a backdrop is about a bunch of children vaudevillians who are out of work, and the public assistance groups want to take the kids and take them away from the parents because the parents can't afford to support them. The kids decide to put on a show, and within that show, there are four famous songs that get written in Babes in Arms that are part of the script. Again, having to be in New York because of the center of performance in Broadway, and this is one of them. Johnny could only sing one note, and the note he could sing was this. Ah, poor Johnny One Note sang out with gusto and just overloaded the place. Poor Johnny One Note yelled willy-nilly until he was blue in the face. For holding one note was his ace. Couldn't hear the brass, couldn't hear the drum. He was in our class by himself, by gum. Poor Johnny One Note got in Aida, indeed a great chance to be brave. He took his one note, howled like the north wind, brought forth wind that made critics rave. While Verdi turned round in his grave, couldn't hear the flute or the big trombone. Everyone was mute. Johnny stood alone. Cats and dogs stopped yapping, lions in the zoo all were jealous of Johnny's big trill. Thunderclaps stopped clapping, traffic ceased its roar, and they tell us Niagara stood still. He stopped the train whistles, boat whistles, steam whistles, cop whistles, all whistles bound to his skill. Sing, Johnny One Note, sing out with gusto and just overwhelm all the crowd. Ah, so sing Johnny One Note out loud. Sing Johnny One Note. Sing Johnny One Note out loud. Then there's another great song from Babes in Arms, and it's this.
It seems we stood and talked like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore. The smile you are smiling, you were smiling then, but I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met before and laughed before and loved before, but who knows where
Or when. Beautiful song. Now, Lady in the Dark, another musical, very well received in its day, about the editor of a fashion magazine and a career woman, someone very sophisticated, and she's having a problem. She can't make up her mind what's to go on the cover of the magazine, something very unusual for her. So it was written in three acts, where each act, where she goes to see her therapist, and she goes to therapy for 2 weeks and solves all of her problems. Kurt Weill and Ira Gershwin write the score for this. It was a landmark musical at the time, running for 2 years, and Gertrude Lawrence just being absolutely stunning in the production. It had been filmed with, I believe it's Ginger Rogers, but it was not a great filming of it, and it was done on television in the mid 1950s with Ann Southern. But because of the fashion industry and everything else, it had to take place in New York because where else would it be?
My ship has sails that are made of silk. The decks are trimmed with gold, and of jam and spice. There's a paradise in the hold.
I know you don't believe in psychoanalysis, Miss Elliot. Nevertheless, it can help you if you give it a chance. So why don't you relax and tell me your dream?
We go to serenade the lovely lady we adore. She occupies the 17th to 22nd floor. Our lady's toast to rapping may not be very near us, and with the sound of traffic, she may not even hear us. But love is wrong without a song, so now it's heretofore. We come to serenade the lovely lady we adore.
This is new, and I'm living at a last head to toe. You've got me so I'm spellbound. I don't know if I am heaven or heaven.
I love Russian composers. There's Marichevsky, Rubinstein, Rensky, and Tchaikovsky, Sepelnikov, Dmitriev, Cherevnik, Troyanovsky, Goldowski, Artabuchev, Maniusko, Akimenko, Solokhiev, Prokofiev, Tiomkin, Koroshenko.
Jenny made her mind up at 75 that she would live to be the oldest woman alive. But gin and rum and whiskey played some funny tricks, and poor Jenny kicked the bucket at 76. Don't make up, you shouldn't make up, mustn't make up, never make up. Anyone with vision comes to this decision.
That, of course, was Lady in the Dark. Now, On the Town was totally about New York. Three sailors on a shore leave, experiencing New York for the first time, meeting up with three women far more sexually aggressive than they really were themselves. Written by Comden and Green, of course, with Leonard Bernstein's music and the ballet of Jerome Robbins. No one really understood that when Jerome Robbins wanted to write the ballet, create the ballet Fancy Free with Leonard Bernstein, that this would become uh, a great groundbreaking musical. But here again is On the Town, and you'll notice the lead actor here, Tony Asbeck, will give a bouquet of flowers to someone in the audience. That's Anna Wintour, the editor of Vogue.
I used to think it might be fun to be anyone else but me. But now that I found you, I've changed my point of view. And no, I wouldn't give a dime to be anyone else but me. What a day, fortune smiled and came my way. Love I never thought I'd see. I'm so lucky to be me. I am simply thunderstruck at the change in my life. You knew at once I wanted you. Never dreamed you'd want me to. I'm so proud you chose me from all the crowd. hours. Hey, why don't you look where you're going? You think it was your first time in New York? It is. New York, New York, New York. It's a hell of a town. We've got one day here and not another minute to see the famous sights. We'll find no romance and danger waiting in it beneath the Broadway lights. We've heard on the chest, so we'll be like the best of the nights. Starlight nights, New York, New York, a hell of a town. The Bronx is up, but the battery's down. The people ride in holy ground. New York, New York, New York. It's a hell of a town. Come on!
Of course, New York, New York. But Guys and Dolls comes next. And again, based upon the stories of Damon Runyon, truly taking place with made up characters who lived in a made up place called Times Square. It was very unique in its plot construction in that it has two couples at the center, but one of the couples is a bigger character than the other in the same couple. And the dialogue was so unique and groundbreaking. The gangsters spoke in an overly correct style of English, and then it talked about styles of the day and music that certainly had lyrics. Sue me, what can you do me? No one had ever heard a language like that before. But Guys and Dolls was also unique in that it had four hit songs on the radio before the show even opened, and this is one. I've never been in love before. Now all at once it's you forevermore. I've never been in love before. I thought my heart was safe. I thought I knew the score. But this is wine that's all too strange and strong. I'm full of foolish song, and out my song must pour. So please forgive this helpless haze I'm in. I've really never been in love before. One of the great songs from Guys and Dolls. But Guys and Dolls showed a kind of New York that was imagined. The stories of Damon Runyon that had become so popular, and it opened to unanimously great reception, except that it was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, and the rumors were that Abe Burrows, who wrote the script with Joe Swirling, had communist affiliations and ties and was called before the House Un-American Activities Committee, at which point the reception of the Pulitzer Prize was withdrawn.
Guys and Dolls is a fable about the people who inhabit a bygone Broadway. Con men and schemers, evangelists and showgirls, characters with names like Nicely Nicely Johnson and Sky Masterson. I had the opportunity to play Sky in the City Center revival in 1965, I think, with Alan King as Nathan Detroit and Jake LaMotta as Big Julie. Here, the original Vivian Blaine as Miss Adelaide, the perpetually yearning for marriage girlfriend of gambler Nathan Detroit. Unfortunately for Adelaide, Nathan's grand passion is running a floating crap game. In this famously plaintive number with comically clever lyrics, her failure to make an honest man of Nathan is starting to literally make her sick.
It says here, the average unmarried female, basically insecure, due to some long frustration, may react with psychosomatic symptoms, difficult to endure, affecting the upper respiratory tract. In other words, just from waiting around for that plain little band of gold, a person develop a cold. You can spray it wherever you think you the streptococcus lurk. You can give her a shot for whatever she's got, but it just won't work. If she's tired of getting that fish eye from the hotel clerk, a person can develop a cold. In other words, just from wondering whether the wedding is on a roof, a person can develop a cold. You can feed her all day with the vitamin A and the bromophil, but the medicine never gets anywhere near where the trouble is. If she's getting a kind of a name for herself and the name ain't his, a person can develop a cold. And furthermore, just installing the wedding trip, a person can develop long grip. When they get on the train for Niagara, and she can hear church bells chime, the compartment is air conditioned, and the mood sublime. Then they get off at Saratoga for the 14th time. A person can develop la post-nasal drip, with the wheezes and the sneezes and the sinus that's really a pip. From a lack of community property, a feeling she's getting too old, a person can develop a bad
Of course, that's Miss Adelaide, and what's truly very, very unique. But Guys and Dolls, the language in that song certainly was very unique at the time, as is
They
this.
got a grand on hand, and they've now got a lock on the door of the gym at TS 84. There's the stock from behind McCluskey's bar. But Mrs. McCluskey ain't a good scout. And things being how they are, the back of the police station is out. So the Biltmore garage is the spot. But the 1,000 bucks we ain't got. Why, it's good old reliable Nathan Detroit. If you're looking for action, he'll furnish the spot. Even when the heat is on, it's never too hot. That's for good old reliable Nathan, for it's always just a short walk to the oldest established permanent floating crap game in New York. There are well-heeled shooters everywhere, everywhere. There are well-heeled shooters everywhere. And an awful lot of that is for the fella who can get us. If we only had says you go broke in quiet and peace. In a hideout provided by Nathan, where there are no neighbors to squawk. It's the oldest established permanent boarding in New York. Where's the action? Where's the game? Gotta have the game or we'll die from shame. It's the oldest established permanent floating craft game in New York.
And then the language here was like nothing anybody had ever heard before. No one had ever talked like that in a Broadway musical before, or like this.
When you meet a gent paying all kinds of rent for a flat that could flatten the Taj Mahal, call it sad, call it funny, but it's better than even money. That guy's only doing it for some love. In a lineup provided by Dave, where there are no neighbors to swap. It's the oldest established permanent floating in New York. Ask me how to describe this whole beautiful thing. Well, if I were a band like a
But more I cannot wish than to wish you find your love, your own true love this day.
So sue me, what can you do me? I love you. And the devil will drag you under by the sharp lapel on your checkered coat. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. You're on the left. Sit down.
A lot of great moments there. Well, I hope you had some fun, and that the stories of how New York is a backdrop for so many musicals was a lot of fun. I hope to see you all live soon. Take care, everybody. I miss you.